Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I have a message for you coming directly from some personal growth and development that I've been focused on and just finally getting my energy back after, wow, like the past, I think we worked it out to be 8 or 9 or 10 days or something that I have had some of, just the craziest ups and downs. Right, in terms of my health and the interconnections with not only, my physical health, but also what's going on for me internally in terms of my emotional health, my spiritual health, my mental health, all of it, right? So last week has been, last couple of weeks really have been kind of crazy in my world. And so hope that they've been less crazy in your world, but, we're all kind of dealing with the repercussions of a challenging time. But today I want to talk to you guys about intentions behind everything that we do. And this has been a real main priority and focus in my life for quite a while now. And basically, I want to talk to you guys about how important that is, how important it is to know your intentions behind what you do. And that's why today's topic is all directed at for you to watch your intentions behind your actions as they determine what you attract in return. Now, I've had, like I said, I've been battling some, illnesses of some variety over the last couple of weeks. And at first I went to town with it on a very looking at the physical symptoms, going to the doctor, getting blood tests done, all sorts of things going on the physical realm. And then noticing that things were actually getting worse and my symptoms were changing. I was really violently sick, and then I was covered in rashes and no energy, inability to focus. Like the symptoms were like endless, right? And so what I had to do at some point was realize, particularly when a lot of my blood test results came back very positively, although I did have 4 times the level of a particular type of white blood cell that, our body creates when we are battling some sort of infection. Okay, so that was kind of weird in my blood test results, but everything else was very normal, right? So I thought, okay, how can I go to war with this, right? How can I look at it from different angles? Not just the physical angle, but let's look at the emotional angle, the spiritual angle, all of it, right? And basically, doing so, I finally got into some energy of releasing, a lot of fears. I did a lot of work, particularly today, on releasing a bunch of different fears, and really, not just releasing them, but actually bringing them into the light and actually addressing them, actually looking at them, actually, honoring what's going on under the surface. And it all brought me back to what I want to talk to you guys about today, because I went back through an old coaching session of mine, actually. And in it, what we were talking about was, what we end up attracting based on the intentions behind our actions. And basically, it got me to think that, whatever our intention is behind the things that we do is actually what ends up happening to us. And so I really thought about that, right? And I actually reflected throughout my life, and I go, okay, for a large amount of my life, the intentions behind what I was doing was, I was living to the expectations of others at the expense of what was true for me, at the expense of being in connection to myself. And the intention behind that was actually to get love and admiration, I discovered, right, from the people that I was living to the expectations of. And then basically what I could see was that was me selling out on my truth, on my authenticity, on my deeper connection with myself, and staying and remaining very confused to what was true for me, so that I could continue to live to the expectations of the people closest to me in order to get from them love and admiration. Okay. And so I owned that. I looked at those true intentions behind why I did what I did very unconsciously, right? And then I applied it to how has this happened to me in my life, right? And how is it maybe connected to my own fears at the moment? And basically what I realized was that I felt like all of the partners, or majority of the partners that I'd had in my life previously, had all kind of sacrificed their truth and molded themselves to what they perceived I wanted from them, right? To get love and admiration from me. And so I could actually see the direct correlation between what my intentions driving my actions had actually attracted other people with the same intentions, but doing it to me. Right? So using me as their kind of source for love and admiration by sacrificing their truth, molding themselves to be what they perceived I wanted to get that, right? And that's exactly what I had previously done. So I mean, you could look at this as karma, right? Basically attracting what your intentions are. And it was so clear to me, right? And then the funny thing was, I saw like when I had those experiences with past partners, selling out on their own truth to become what they perceived I wanted them to be, when that came up to the surface, I felt really manipulated, I felt really lied to, right? And then something clicked in my mind, right? And I realized that's interesting because that's exactly how my mum felt when I got off the path that I was on and, aligned with a more true path, right? Because she felt lied to, right? And I actually realized that that's exactly what was reoccurring for me in a different position, right? And so anyway, we could go off on a big tangent. I've got a whole nother growth journey with that one that I could share with you guys, but let's stay on track for me. But basically, I want you guys to think about, what are your intentions behind your actions? Why do you do the things that you do? Why, I'm talking everything that you do. Right? Why do you connect with the people that you connect with? Why do you do the work that you do? Right? Why do you do everything throughout your day? What's the intentions? What are the intentions that drive each and every one of those behaviors? And the reason why I want to ask you guys that is because I think it's one of the most empowering things that we can ever hope to do in our lives is to watch the true intentions that drive our behavior, right? And then for me, I can know that one of my deep-seated patterns has been to show up in certain ways that I knew other people would perceive in a good way, right? So that I could get that love and admiration. Now, I have to really keep my finger on the pulse of this. Oh, sorry, I just dropped something. I have to keep my finger on the pulse of this, right? And I have to make sure that the intentions behind what I'm doing are not me sacrificing and selling out on my truth to try and get that love and admiration from my external world, right? And so we all have these certain patterns. We all have these, certain things that we're trying to get from the external world. And basically the way that we can identify and really get clear on what we're, trying to do is to look at and question what's my intention behind this. So just take a moment and pause before you do anything. I challenge you to do this in your day tomorrow. Go through the day tomorrow and go, before you do anything, go, what's my intention behind this, particularly in relationship with others? And then you are going to have a very brutally honest dialogue with yourself, right? And maybe for some of you, it'll be the first time ever. This is a crazy experience the first time I started doing this and actually really started being 100% honest and open with myself about what was driving my behavior. And from that place, this is so key for any of you who struggle with trusting yourself, believing in yourself. It's oftentimes because you're disconnected from yourself. And when you're disconnected from yourself, you're trying to get your needs fulfilled by some person or source in your external world instead of owning it within yourself, right? And so a lot of us get caught up in what I call psychological prostitution. I've done a Facebook Live or two on this one. So if you guys want more depth on this, just let me know and I'll search those videos and find them for you and link you up. But basically what that is selling out what's true for you in order to get something from other people in your external world. For me, like I mentioned, that was love and admiration, right? It might be love, it might be acceptance, it might be approval, it might be validation, it might be significance, it might be any number of different things, but you have to, and only you can know what intentions drive any of your behaviors. You know, behaviors in and of themselves aren't inherently, necessarily like good or bad, right? I mean, we could argue about that, and there's certain behaviors that, probably are really clearly bad, right? But what we need to do is oftentimes even the worst looking behaviors can be driven by pure intentions. And sometimes the best looking behaviors can be driven by terrible intentions, right? And so the difference is that only you can know what that is. And the more coherent, honest conversations and dialogue that you can have and clarity over knowing your intentions, the more you are going to have trust within yourself if you are having good intentions behind everything that you do. Guaranteed, you can't know what your actions are what the repercussions of every action that you engage in is going to be. But if you know with full conviction within that your intentions are pure, then it doesn't actually matter, because you can go about changing that. But if you engage in behaviors, you don't know what your intentions are, bad things happen, people get upset, all that does is serve to diminish your own self-worth, self-esteem, trust within yourself, confidence, all that stuff. So what I'm saying is the underlying message for today's message is really the deeper and more connected you can be to your pure intentions driving each and every one of your actions, the more you're going to trust yourself, the more you're going to believe in yourself, the more solid and certain you're going to be within yourself, the more you're going to be unshakable and unbreakable to the fears, judgments, opinions, to anybody in your external world, and the more fulfilled you're going to be because you fulfill on your own needs and so forth, because you're clear on what they are. You're not confused, you're not disconnected, you're precisely clear. And that's one of the best states of being that you can possibly hope to have in your life. So I hope that this message has served you and supported you. I forgot what the title I named this was. It was dropped off my iPad before, but it is to watch your intentions behind your actions as they determine what you attract in return. And if you're unsure of how to go about this, look at what you're attracting as well. You can look at it in reverse. What are the circumstances that you keep attracting? And what are the intentions driving those people's behavior as to what's happening to you? See where you can find those exact same intentions driving some of your own current or past behaviors. And, be willing to be seriously honest with yourself for this, because it is super empowering, right? The moment you take 100% responsibility for who you are, why you do what you do, what drives your behavior, all of that sort of stuff, is the moment that you become your most empowered individual and you get to choose the course of your life, right? Rather than selling out in what I call that psychological prostitution, when we're disconnected from self and instead trying to get that from external sources. Just in my story, like I was chasing that love and admiration at the expense of my truth, and still building that muscle to make sure that I do not fall back into those patterns. And I really do have to keep my finger still on the pulse of that, right? So hope that my sharing on this is of value to you guys, and I definitely want to check in, see who's been able to join me, and make sure you're dropping me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from around the globe, and let me dive in. Say hi. So I have got Ulrike in the house, and Daryl's here, and Elle, and Sunula, and Wendy, and Elle. Hi Vanessa, thanks for bringing your light to an already bright sunny Spain. When are you coming back? I can't wait to come back to beautiful Spain. Might be a little while as I'm in Australia and we have an international travel ban. So to be honest with you, it might not be until the end of 2021, apparently. So I'll look forward to it though, Elle, and glad that you're keeping it sunny over there in Spain as well. And Abdul Kabir or Kabar, I don't know who it is, but love having you here. And Sean's here as well. And good morning to you. I'm going to call you Kabar because it's easier, but I hope I got it right. And Daryl is from the Great White North. Always good to see you, my friend. And Jerry's here and Anchor. And Jerry, salute to you and to everyone as well. I love it. And Judy's here and Mayo. And Jerry, wow, awesome subject. We all do it. To remain focused and be authentic and true to yourself, to do things for others has to be do good and let go with integrity. Absolutely, my friend. So well put. Absolutely. And, this is key, to know that even your greatest things that you do, the kindest, most giving things that you do, look at your intentions behind them, right? And if you are doing the things that you're doing in order to get something in return, just know that you're going to attract the same sort of circumstance. And so instead of doing that, how about get your intentions in alignment? And make sure that you are using the, not so healthy intentions behind your behaviors to alert you to where you need to fulfill for yourself, right? Like for me, that's okay. Instead of selling out on my truth to fill the void of not feeling loved and admired within myself and trying to get that from external sources, instead, I'm going to work on identifying that first step. And then how do I instill more love for myself and more admiration of myself so that I'm not seeking it at the expense of what's true and healthy for me from those external sources, right? Really, really key, really, really valuable. It's different for each and every one of us. But yeah, love your words there, Jerry. And Michael's here as well, and Jeff and AJ and Kayla and Kay and Santi Suk. Good to see you. And AJ. So important to start living consciously and intentionally versus accidentally. Well put, my friend. Absolutely. You're either designing your life or living by default, right? So well put. Love it. And Wendy, love this message as always. I'm in Victoria, so it's been very hot. Me too, Wendy. I know we've just had a cool change, but I'm actually sweating a bit. So yeah, it's been super hot last couple of days. So yeah, hope you're enjoying a bit of the cool change, and always good to see you, beautiful. And Kayla's here as well. I'm from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Awesome. Can you give some more examples on how to implement this process? Love having you here, Kayla. And thank you so much for the question. I always love when you guys co-create this space and ask me questions. So some more examples would be, like this is exactly what I did in the process this morning. So take that idea of intentions, right? Whatever your intention is behind the actions that you do, that's what you're going to end up attracting, right? So you start going, like what I did was I reflected throughout, what are the key themes of my personal growth journey? What are the key challenges I've had in my life, right? What have been the intentions behind the majority of my actions, right? And you might be able to go, what are, those fear drivers, right? And so for me, it was super clear because all my challenges all correlate with one another, and they all lead to me being disconnected from my truth, right? Selling out, living to the expectations of others at the expense of that truth, right? And trying to get, why do I want that? Because I was trying to get love and admiration. The reason why I stayed confused and disconnected from myself was because that would muddy the water in terms of the expectations I was trying to live to. And what was driving that was because I wanted that love and admiration because I was missing it. And so what you would do is look at the course of your life, what sticks out for you. And so start with that and see if you can come up with any common themes. And then I would start by making tomorrow, right, the day where maybe you set a reminder on your phone and you go, the question that pops up, make it so it's a reminder, an alarm that goes off maybe every hour or every couple of hours, says, what is my intention behind what I'm doing right now, right? And really check in with yourself. Like, why are you making that phone call that you need to make, right? Why are you engaging in conversation or connection or relationship with that person? Why are you doing the work that you're doing right now? Look at your intentions that are driving everything. And even if you think, right, like it's a good action that you're taking, still question that, because it's the intention behind it, right? If you're doing anything that's not true for you, expect that you're going to have experiences where other people are doing things in your towards you that aren't true for them either, right? And so, and like, if you didn't hear my story and what I shared about past relationships, then make sure you catch the whole rest of this live when we finish. But that might be just how you get to start and go through that process. And as usual, I love being available to you guys. And I love action takers. I love growth seekers. I always want to do whatever I can to support you guys on this journey because I think you are the most empowering people for the rest of the world, right? People who are committed to their growth, who want to, utilize their own self-awareness to shift and change so that they can show up as the best human beings that they can be and have that positive impact on the people around them. I love getting to support you guys. So please do reach out to me. I do offer 15-minute power sessions where I get to dive in deep and help and shift your perspective and definitely support you through processes like this if you'd like some more personal help. So you can definitely shoot me a message or drop me a comment and I will connect with you. So hope that was helpful, Kayla, and you're so welcome. And Daryl, that smile looks good on you. You wear it well. Thank you, Daryl. I appreciate your kind words, my friend. And Christy, thank you. You are great. Christy from Durban in South Africa. I love that. Awesome, awesome. Good to have you, Christy. And love that you're from South Africa, a place that I have always wanted to go to. Eventually, I hope to get to. So hope you're doing amazingly well. And thank you for your kind words. Grateful that this was of value. And Dorjan is here and Santi Suk. Love the message from Thailand. Oh, we're all spread around the globe today. I'm loving it. Good to have you here, my friend. And Giacomo is from Roma. Awesome. Oh, one of my favorite cities in the world. So good to have you here. And Jerry, starting to get cold in Quebec City, Canada, but still beautiful. I hope you're enjoying it, my friend. And I have heard a famous Canadian saying, I don't know if it's true or not, but I use it all the time, actually. And basically, I've heard that Canadians say there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. So I hope that's a true thing, or somebody might have been having me on, but I like it. So I hope you got some good clothing going on there, Jerry. And Charles is here as well. And Kayla, you're awesome. Thank you. And it was helpful. So grateful to hear that, beautiful soul. And love the question. And thanks for showing up. And AJ, our subconscious mind is constantly doubting maybe, generalizing, I think you meant there. Yep, and distorting. Yes. Deleting, generalizing, and distorting. Some good NLP terms there. In order to move us in particular direction. So more intentional you become, more better it can guide you. Absolutely, AJ. Love your words of wisdom that you're sharing here. Definitely. Know what drives your behavior. Know that exactly like AJ is saying here, the human mind has a great capacity to, really, cut out all the different pieces of information that are coming at us, all the millions, billions pieces of information that are coming at us in any given moment, right? And it wants to categorize, it wants to compartmentalize, it wants to cut out and filter, it wants to delete, generalize, and distort, like AJ is saying. And so if we know that about our human system, then we can be more empowered to create what we want in our lives, right? By knowing those patterns and working, in a way that we mitigate them, right? We use our conscious mind to direct our lives as much as we possibly can, and have strategies to go into the subconscious mind and allow ourselves to take and glean the wisdom that dwells within so that we can ultimately direct our lives. So I love that, AJ. Totally. You're on point, my friend. And Abood is here, and Giacomo, much love to you. Thank you so much, my friend, and loving that this is resonating, Jerry. Awesome to see each and every one of you guys. I hope that today's message has served you and empowered you. I hope you're going to check in with your intentions from now on and really get honest with yourself. I guarantee you, if you do this for a week, you will be mind blown. You will have such a deeper connection to your truth. And I'm telling you right now, take it from somebody who lived very disconnected from any truth within for definitely the first 25 years of my life, and only been building that muscle of truth since then. You know, you will definitely create a whole different life for yourself when you are connected to yourself. That's actually where all of your freedom comes from within. And just know this, you know, most of us are seeking at some level to get that love, acceptance, approval, admiration from external sources. But just know this, if you are receiving that love, acceptance, approval, admiration, right, from those external sources, based on you selling out on your truth, you not being authentic, all that actually does is reinforce to your true self that you're not lovable, accepted, approved of, or admired as the truth of who you are, because you're not actually giving anybody the opportunity to do so, right? And so the moment you have the courage to tap into who the true you is and really build that muscle of connection and start really fully aligning with that, is the moment you actually give people the opportunity to love you, accept you, approve of you, and admire you for the truth of who you are. And that's where your fulfillment is. When you get that based on, you know, like poor intentions and an inauthentic directive, then you're just reinforcing your worst fears that you're not lovable as you are, right? So just remember that. That's what got me unstuck and got me out of that loop. And like I said, I'd love for you guys to connect with me if I can support you, because I love getting to support and help any growth seekers like yourselves. And if this has been a valuable message, please do share it. I love getting into the minds and the hearts of anybody around the world, and just like you guys, who are exceptional human beings doing great things. So much love for each and every one of you guys. And as usual, I want to leave you with the message to, you know, really honor your authenticity. Deepen your intimacy and contribute meaningfully and purposefully. All right. I feel like those are the keys to a fulfilling life. So hope that, you know, inspires you in some way. And Cindy's just joined us, and Ulrike, thank you. Vanessa and Get Well, thank you so much, Ulrike. Much love to you and to each and every one of you guys for joining live today. You are so appreciated. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your comments and words of wisdom. Thanks for co-creating this space. And I can't wait to see you guys again soon. Much love.